5 most powerful hidden dark psychology tricks to attract anyone you see. Beloved, attraction is not just about beauty, it's about energy. And energy is silent, it's powerful, it moves before your words do. Now, there are hidden tools, psychological levers that can shift the way people see you, feel you, and respond to you. And today, I'm going to let you peek behind the curtain. Number 1, energy speaks before words. When you walk into a room, you're already in conversation without opening your mouth. Your posture, your breathing, your gazing, they're all sending signals. Stand as though you belong in every space you enter. Tilt your chin slightly upward. Open your chest, soften your eyes. You're telling the world, I'm safe, I'm confident, I'm magnetic. People feel that before they even greet you. Number 2, the curiosity gap. This is the art of not giving everything away. You share enough to spark interest, but never so much that people think they've figured you out. In conversations, drop hints instead of full stories. Leave space for them to ask questions. Humans are wired to fill in the blanks. And when you become the blank they want to fill, you've created attraction. Number 3, mirroring mastery. Have you ever noticed how best friends or lovers start to move the same way, speak the same way? That's not an accident. That's psychological bonding. By subtly mirroring someone's tone, pace, or gestures, you're speaking the language of their subconscious. We're alike. You can trust me. Just don't overdo it. This is about rhythm, not imitation. Number 4, emotional anchoring. Every time you're around someone, you're leaving an emotional footprint. If you consistently connect with someone during moments of joy, laughter, or inspiration, their brain will start to link you with those emotions. Suddenly, they're not just drawn to you, they crave the way they feel when you're near. Number 5, strategic silence. Most people rush to fill quiet moments, but silence is power. Pausing after a statement or a question gives weight to your words. It draws people in. It forces them to lean closer, mentally and emotionally. You become the one they wait on, the one they hang on to. When you step into a room before you've spoken a single word, your energy has already arrived. People might not consciously analyze it, but they feel it. The air shifts slightly when you walk in. It's in the way your footsteps land, the way your chest rises, the quiet command or gentle openness in your presence. This is why you must understand that attraction begins long before a conversation does. Your energy, your silent, invisible signal, sets the tone for how people will respond to you. Think about it. If someone enters a space hunched over, avoiding eye contact, moving quickly, like they're hoping not to be noticed, the message they're broadcasting is, I'm not comfortable here. And that discomfort becomes contagious. People sense it, even if they can't articulate why. Now, imagine someone walking in with an upright posture, shoulders back, not stiff, but relaxed, head lifted just enough to show they're awake to the moment. They're not trying to dominate the room, but they're owning their place in it. People notice that too, and it sparks curiosity. That's the magnetic quality we're talking about. Your energy speaks through micro signals. The way your eyes meet someone else's, soft, not piercing, communicates safety and presence. The pace of your breathing tells others whether you're calm or anxious. Even the space you take up matters. When you're grounded in your stance, feet firm but comfortable, you're telling the subconscious minds around you, I am here. I am not rushing away. You can approach me. Humans are deeply responsive to non-verbal cues, often far more than to the words themselves. And here's the truth. This kind of energy is not just about confidence in the traditional sense. It's about congruence. When your inner state matches your outer expression, you become naturally attractive. If you try to plaster on confidence, but your body language betrays tension, people pick up the mismatch instantly. But when you actually feel grounded, even if you're not the loudest in the room, people sense authenticity. And that is magnetic. One powerful practice to cultivate this is to check in with yourself before entering a room. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel your feet connecting with the ground. Loosen your shoulders. Soften your jaw. Let your face carry an expression that is both warm and self-assured. It's like tuning your instrument before the music starts. Because you are the instrument and the energy you bring is the song people hear before the words. You can also work with intentional visualization. Before you arrive somewhere, imagine the energy you want people to feel from you. Is it calm authority, playful charm, deep warmth? Hold that in your body. Because when you embody it, you won't need to force it. Your movements will naturally reflect it. Another subtle piece is pace. People who rush into a room signal urgency or anxiety. People who move with measured, relaxed timing signal that they are in control of themselves and the situation. That doesn't mean you walk in like you own the place. It means you walk in like you belong in the place. That difference is everything. And here's something few people talk about: the power of stillness. When you're comfortable enough to pause, whether standing at a doorway for a moment or taking a few seconds before speaking, you amplify your presence. Stillness draws eyes toward you because in a world of constant movement, it's rare and intriguing. The truth is, this is not manipulation, it's alignment. You're simply choosing to present yourself in a way that supports connection rather than repels it. When your energy says, I am safe, I am confident, I am present, you give others permission to relax and open up. And that is the beginning of attraction, not through flashy words or forced charm, but through the quiet, magnetic force of who you are before you even speak. People are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. It's human nature to want to close the gap between what we know and what we don't know. This is the essence of the curiosity gap. And when you understand how to create it intentionally, you become magnetic without even trying. You see, most people make the mistake of over explaining themselves, telling every detail of their story, revealing every thought they have, thinking it makes them more relatable. But in reality, giving away everything too soon leaves nothing for the mind to chase. And when there's nothing to chase, interest begins to fade. The human brain is wired for completion. When we're given part of a story, we feel an itch to know the rest. That's why cliffhangers in movies keep us glued to the screen. That's why someone leaning in mid conversation is a signal they're hooked. The curiosity gap is about giving people just enough to lean forward, just enough to make them invest energy in finding out more about you, your ideas, or your perspective. Imagine someone asking you what you do, and instead of giving them the standard full description, you say something like, I help people unlock parts of themselves they didn't know were there. That statement is intriguing, but it's incomplete. It makes them ask, what do you mean? Now they've invited you to go deeper, and in doing so, they've invested attention. When you reveal information in layers, you create a journey, and journeys are more compelling than destinations handed over instantly. This isn't about being manipulative. It's about pacing the way you share yourself so that others have room to wonder. When you hold back strategically, you're not withholding connection. You're building anticipation. You're making people earn pieces of your story. And the more effort they put into discovering you, the more invested they become. Think about relationships you've had, romantic, professional, or friendly. The ones that felt most alive often had a sense of unfolding, of discovery over time. Body language plays into this as well. Sometimes the way you pause before answering a question, or the way your eyes light up when you hint at something without fully explaining, draws people in more than the actual information. Silence after a suggestive statement can be more powerful than a flood of words. It's the unspoken. There's more to this that makes people curious. And this applies beyond conversations. The way you dress can leave a curiosity gap. Wearing something that suggests personality without broadcasting the whole story invites questions. Your online presence, too, sharing pieces of your life without documenting every detail, makes people feel like they've only seen a chapter and they want to know the whole book. The key here is contrast. If you're too mysterious, people may lose interest because they can't connect. If you're too transparent, they may connect but not stay curious. You need to strike a balance, open enough to build trust, yet intriguing enough to leave space for imagination. That space is where attraction grows. In practice, you can train yourself to create curiosity by asking yourself, what's the one detail I'll save for later? This could be in storytelling, in sharing your accomplishments, or even in how you respond emotionally. When someone senses there's more beneath the surface, they begin to invest mental energy in you. And mental energy is the currency of connection. The curiosity gap works because it makes people active participants in the interaction. They're no longer just listening to you. They're searching, wondering, piecing together clues. You become a puzzle they enjoy solving, a mystery they want to return to again and again. And once you know how to use that, you stop chasing attention because attention starts chasing you. When two people feel connected, they often start to mirror each other without even realizing it. Their voices fall into a similar rhythm, their gestures align, even their breathing syncs up. This isn't coincidence. It's a subconscious way of saying, we're in harmony. When you learn to use mirroring intentionally, you tap into one of the most powerful tools in dark psychology for creating instant rapport and attraction. The human brain is wired to trust and feel comfortable with what feels familiar, and when you subtly reflect someone's behavior, you become that familiarity. The beauty of mirroring is that it's quiet. It doesn't announce itself. When done right, it feels natural, almost invisible, but it works on a deep emotional level. Imagine you're speaking to someone who's sitting with one leg crossed over the other. A few minutes into the conversation, you shift into a similar posture. They lean forward slightly to emphasize a point, and moments later, you lean forward too. Not in a way that mimics them exactly, but in a way that matches their energy. This alignment signals to their subconscious, we are alike. And similarity is one of the strongest psychological triggers for connection. This goes beyond body position. Voice tone and pace are just as important. If someone is speaking slowly and softly, and you respond with rapid, loud speech, you create a subconscious disconnect. But if you match their pace and tone, they feel understood. They feel you're on their wavelength. And when people feel understood, they naturally want to be around you more. It's not because you've said the perfect thing. It's because you've made their nervous system feel safe and aligned. Now, here's where mastery comes in. Mirroring is not about copying. Copying feels forced and can actually push people away because it looks unnatural. The magic lies in subtly echoing their behavior so that they sense the similarity without ever consciously thinking. They're imitating me. You're not a reflection in a mirror. You're like music harmonizing with the melody they're already playing. Mirroring also applies to emotions. If someone is sharing something exciting, let your expressions, your gestures, your energy rise to meet theirs. If they're revealing something vulnerable, allow your energy to soften, your tone to lower, your movements to slow. You're signaling that you can meet them where they are emotionally, and that builds trust faster than any words ever could. Eye contact plays a subtle role here too. If they tend to hold eye contact for a certain amount of time before looking away, match that rhythm. If they use their hands a lot when speaking, let your gestures come alive in a similar way. It's about creating a dance between your behaviors and theirs, where they feel like you're moving in sync. And here's the deeper layer. People are often most attracted to those who make them feel like the best version of themselves. When you mirror someone's positive states, their enthusiasm, their confidence, their joy, you're reinforcing those states for them. Over time, their brain starts to associate you with the feelings they most enjoy experiencing. This is where mirroring crosses into emotional anchoring, because now you're not just building rapport, you're becoming a trigger for their positive emotions. The key is presence. You can't mirror someone well if you're distracted, rehearsing what you'll say next, or thinking about yourself. You have to be fully tuned into them, observing the nuances in their movement, listening for the cadences in their voice, and feeling the shifts in their mood. This level of attention is rare, and that rarity is part of what makes mirroring so powerful. When you master this art, people often won't be able to explain why they feel so comfortable with you. They'll just know that talking to you feels easy, like you get them without effort. And in a world where so many interactions feel rushed or mismatched, that kind of seamless connection is irresistible. Every time you interact with someone, you're leaving behind more than just words. You're leaving behind a feeling. That feeling is what they will remember long after they've forgotten the exact sentences you spoke. Emotional anchoring is the practice of making sure that the feeling they associate with you is so positive, so uplifting, or so inspiring that they naturally want to be in your presence again. This is one of the most powerful forces in attraction because humans are deeply emotional creatures, even when we think we're being logical. The brain doesn't just store memories as images or facts, it stores the emotions tied to those moments. If someone consistently feels a surge of joy, comfort, or excitement when they're around you, their subconscious begins to link you to that emotion. You essentially become the trigger for that feeling. It's the same way a certain song can take you back to a summer years ago, or a certain scent can remind you of a loved one. The association becomes automatic and powerful. To use this in a genuine and ethical way, you must first pay attention to the emotional state of the people you're with. Notice the energy they're carrying when you meet them. Are they stressed? Are they tired? Are they neutral? Your role is to intentionally shift that state into something better before the interaction ends. If they come to you feeling drained and they leave feeling lighter, happier, or more inspired, you've successfully created an emotional anchor. This doesn't mean you have to put on a performance or be artificially cheerful. It means you learn how to amplify emotions that are already positive and gently transform emotions that are negative. If they're sharing exciting news, lean into that excitement with genuine enthusiasm. Smile, match their energy, celebrate with them. If they're feeling low, slow your tone, soften your presence, and offer a calm reassurance that makes them feel understood and supported. People rarely forget how you made them feel safe when they were vulnerable. One of the most effective ways to strengthen an emotional anchor is through shared moments. Shared laughter is one of the strongest bonding tools. It's an instant positive emotional spike. Shared inspiration, like an aha moment in a deep conversation, can be just as powerful. These high points become emotional bookmarks in the brain, and every time they think of you, those bookmarks get reread. Even small, consistent emotional experiences can create a strong anchor over time. Maybe every time you meet someone, you greet them with warmth and make them feel like the most important person in the room for those few moments. Maybe you're the person who always leaves them with a thought that lingers or a compliment that feels genuine and specific. These repeated experiences build a subconscious equation, being with you to feeling good. And that's an equation people will keep coming back to. It's important to remember that emotional anchoring can work in the opposite direction too. If someone often feels criticized, stressed, or uncomfortable in your presence, they'll begin to associate you with those negative emotions. even if you don't mean to create them. This is why awareness is so important. You want to be deliberate in the emotional space you create for others because it becomes your reputation in their mind. Physical cues can deepen the anchor. The tone of your voice, the way you greet someone, even a signature phrase or gesture can become linked to the emotion you generate. Over time, those cues act as instant triggers. They might hear your laugh from across the room and feel a rush of positivity before they even see you. When you truly understand emotional anchoring, you realize that attraction isn't just about appearance, clever words, or surface charm. It's about the deep, lasting imprint you leave on someone's emotional memory. And when that imprint is consistently positive, people don't just want to see you again, they actively seek out opportunities to feel the way you make them feel. Attraction is not an accident. It's not some mysterious gift that only a few people are born with. It's a skill, an awareness, and most importantly, an intentional way of showing up in the world. When you begin to see how these psychological levers work, you realize you've had the power all along to shape the way others experience you. Every interaction, every gesture, every moment of silence carries a message. The question is, are you sending that message with purpose? You've learned that your energy speaks long before you open your mouth. This is why you can no longer afford to walk into a room without first aligning yourself with the presence you want to project. You know now that posture, pace, and stillness are not just physical traits, they're signals to the subconscious minds around you. By mastering your energy, you're no longer waiting for people to notice you. You're making it impossible for them not to. You've seen the power of the curiosity gap, that deliberate choice to hold back just enough so others lean in, wanting to know more. You understand now that mystery is not about secrecy. It's about pacing the reveal of who you are so the connection stays alive. People will always be drawn to what leaves them wondering, uh, to what feels like a journey rather than a one-time story. You've stepped into the art of mirroring, not as an act of imitation, but as a form of deep presence. You now know that when you subtly match someone's rhythm, their body relaxes, their guard lowers, and they feel an unspoken bond with you. This kind of alignment builds trust faster than clever words because it tells their subconscious, we are alike. You are safe here. And you've discovered the quiet power of emotional anchoring. You've realized that people don't remember every word you say, but they will always remember how you made them feel. You understand that if you can consistently associate yourself with joy, inspiration, warmth, or safety, people will seek your presence almost instinctively. You become not just a person in their life, but an experience they crave. Each of these tools works on its own, but together they create something even more powerful, a presence that is magnetic, trustworthy, and unforgettable. They shift you from being someone who tries to win attention to someone who naturally draws it. And the most important part, you can use them anywhere in business, in relationships, in friendships, in leadership. Because these aren't tricks in the shallow sense. They are ways of understanding human nature and aligning yourself with it. From now on, you don't just enter a conversation, you set the tone. You don't just talk, you invite curiosity. You don't just stand in someone's presence. You mirror their world until they feel you're part of it. And you don't just share moments, you create emotional imprints that last far beyond the moment you leave. When you embody these principles, you stop chasing connection and start becoming the source of it. And that more than anything is the true power of attraction.